I begin my sharing with a prayer. Dakshinamurti Sarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Ramanacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Vande Guru Paramparam Vande Guru Paramparam Shuklam Bharadharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopashantaye Angikam Bhuvanam Yasya Vachikam Sarva Vangmayam Aharyam Chandrataradi Tam Namas Satvikam Shivam Jagata Ishadhi Yukta Sevanam Ashtamurti Deva Pujanam Uttamastava Duchamandata Chittajam Japa Dhyanamuttamam Ajyadharaya Srota Sasamam Sarala Chintanam Viralatah Param Veda Bhavanat Sohamityasau Bhavana Bhida Pavani Mata Bhava Shunya Sad Bhava Sustiti Bhavana Bhalat Bhakti Ruttama Hritstale Mana Swastata Kriya Bhakti Yoga Bodhascha Nishchitam Vayurodhana liyate mana Jalapakshivadroda sadhanam Chittavayava Shitkriyayutah Shakayordvayi Shakti Mulaka Laya Vinashane Ubhayarodane Layagatam Punar Bhavati Nomritam Pranabandhanalinamanasam Ekachintana Nashametyada Nashtamanaso Utkrishtayogina Krityamasti Kim Swastitim Yata Drishyavaritam Chittamatmana Chitvadarshanam Tatvadarshanam Manasam tu kim margane krite naiva manasam marga arjavat vrittayastvaham vrittimashritaah vrittayo mano vidyaham mana ahamayam kuto bhavati chinvata aipatatyaham nija vicharanam Ahaminashabhajahamaham taya Spurati Hritsvayam Paramapurnasat Ahaminashabhaji Ahamaham taya Spurati Hritsvayam Paramapurnasat. We offer our salutations to Bhagavan Ramana, who is none other than the Self, which is the pure existence, pure consciousness, and pure bliss. And that is the fullness of existence, which is shining in every heart as I, as aham, aham. It is shining and it is self-effulgent. It is shining on itself and it does not need any other light to light it. The light lights itself. It is that light which is shining in every heart. But this light, which is our own true nature, is hidden by one more, a part of that very same light, but which looks very, very huge and big, which is our false identity that we are holding on to. And Ramana, in this verse of Upadesa Saram, says, if that false I is destroyed, if that false notion that we are holding on to of this I as the limited entity, if that notion is dropped, that notion is destroyed, then the fullness of existence, the self, shines as I, self-effulgent, shines. Spurati hrit swayam paramapurna sat. Aham taya. Spurati hrit swayam paramapurna sat, says Bhagavan Ramana. Today is a very special day. We are celebrating the World Environment Day. And the greatest lover of the environment, who saw that the whole environment is nothing but the manifestation of Ishvara, is Bhagavan Ramana. In Upadesa Saram, I started with that verse, Jagata Ishadhi Yukta Sevanam Ashtamurti Deva Pujanam. The best way of worshipping the divine is to understand that the Ishvara, the supreme power, it has manifested itself in the eightfold forms. And what are these eightfold forms? It is the five elements, which is the earth and the sky and the water, air and the fire. And the next two is the sun and the moon, which gives the light to the whole world. And the last one, the eighth one, includes all living beings. And Ramana says the Supreme has manifested in all these forms. And to offer yukta sevana, appropriate sevana to each one of these manifestations is the best worship that one can do. So he mentions that. And so I thought it would be apt to start the sharing with a beautiful song which has been inspired by the words of Ramana himself and the words of Muruganar Swami, who was a great saint poet who was soaked in the presence of Ramana. And he has written more than 30,000 songs on Bhagavan Ramana. And this song, which is in English, has been penned by Dr. Sharda, inspired by the words of Muruganar Swami and Bhagavan himself. And it talks about Bhagavan Ramana as the walking tree. Ramana says, a tree is a standing man, and a man is a walking tree. Ramana says, a tree is a standing man, and a man a walking tree. Can a man truly be a walking tree? Can a man truly be a walking tree? Walking tree. Can a man truly be a walking tree? Offering shade and spreading silence. Simply be a walking tree, offering shade, spreading silence. Simply be a walking tree. Let us meditate on Ramana, Ramana. Let us meditate on Ramana, Ramana. Who like a tree which on a scorching day offer cool shade to every comer. Who like a tree which on a scorching day offers cool shade to every comer. By nature, not by choice. By nature, not by choice. Even so, he stands, Ramana, Ramana. Even so, he stands, Ramana, Ramana. Calm, immutable, impartial. Calm, immutable, impartial. Liking or disliking none, liking nor disliking none, but saving all who reach his feet. But saving all who reach his feet. Making a man truly be a walking tree. Making a man truly be a walking tree. Let us meditate on Ramana, Ramana, Ramana. Let us meditate on Ramana, 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 the teacher of reality, who dwells within the inmost self, the teacher of reality, who dwells within the inmost self, as as I, bringing in full measure the joy of silence, bringing in full measure the joy of silence, ending the delusive pride of a divided self-love, ending the delusive pride of a divided self-love, saving all who reach his feet, saving all who reach his feet. Making a man truly be a walking tree. Making a man truly be a walking tree. Ramana says that all manifestations is the manifestation of the Supreme. When that is the truth, then the tree and the man are one and the same. The same supreme power pervades both the tree and the man, the whole environment, and each one of us. He says, a tree is only a standing man, and man is a walking tree. But we ask ourselves a question, can we truly be a walking tree? The tree is so compassionate. It offers cool shade and it spreads silence, and it is simply, it is standing. It is just being itself. Can we be that? We are we are only creating problems in the world. We are creating pollution. We are destroying the nature. We are unknowingly causing so much of danger to the earth and the environment. We are not like the tree which is offering cool shade. And we are not spreading silence. We are always constantly talking and in action. And if we are forced to be silent, in a class, you are told, maintain silence. Even if we are forced to be physically silent, our mind is constantly talking all the time. And we are incapable of spreading that piece of silence. And to simply be, that is the Upadesha, but Bhagwan says, Bhagwan does not say, do that, do this, do the, come here, go there, nothing. The only Upadesha that he gives is Summa Ire. Be as you are. Simply be. But how can we be simply be? We want to be that, or we want to be this. We want to be great. We want to be famous, or we want to be good. We want to be bad. We want to be do that. We want to do this. But we are incapable of simply being. And Ramana says, you have the capacity to be like a tree. You are the walking tree. So you have the capacity. So we have to only ask Ramana, oh Ramana, what the qualities of the tree, and we are so different. Can a man truly be a walking tree? So we meditate on Ramana, who is the Guru who has come into our lives. And he is the Guru who is shining in every heart. He is the teacher of reality who dwells in every heart. And he is shining and guiding us as I. he's shining there. And when we ask him, a tree is, he is just like a tree who is ever available to everyone, to every comer. And he is showering his grace to everyone who comes. And when we see Ramana's life, people from when he was on the up Arunachala hill, the children used to climb up the hill and they used to sit in the presence of Ramana and just in silence and go back home in the night. And the monkeys who are so naughty and who are incapable of sitting in one place, the monkeys used to come to the presence of Ramana and sit there in silence. And at Ramanashramam, people from every corner of the world, they traveled with great difficulty and they came to Bhagavan Ramana and they found peace and solace. Just like how tree offers shade to every comer, Ramana used to offer his grace and love to every comer. There was this couple who came from Peru with great difficulty. They had to sell their own house. They had to do a lot of sacrifices, and with great difficulty, they had to travel in the third class ship where they had to be with the luggage and other storage. And they had to travel with great difficulty without food, without enough water. And they traveled and they came to Ramana's presence. And when they came and spoke to Ramana, Ramana told, "You didn't have to take all these trouble." And that couple from Peru were very, very disappointed. "Ramana, we have come with so much of difficulty, and how can you say we should have not taken all this trouble?" They were disappointed a little bit that Ramana did not welcome them happily. But later, Ramana met them after the lunch, afternoon time. They got time to talk to Ramana, and Ramana started describing them. In Peru, there is a beach where you used to spend some time in the evening when you're leisure. And that place, it had beautiful 2 coconut trees. And in between that coconut trees, there is a small bench. It was that bench on which you used to sit and read books related to Ramana. Isn't that so? And they wondered, the place where they come from, a beach which is not at all well known, some small beach in some corner of the world, and not like nowadays that we have photographs and videos being shared in all the social media and internet that we get to know every nook and corner of the world. But this small, not at all famous place in Peru, and how Ramana could describe it so beautifully and so exactly. And they realized that Ramana was there for them, even there in Peru. And that's what he meant. You did not have to take all this trouble because Ramana was there too. Such was his love for every comer of the world. And Ramana showed his love not because of not because he chose to do that, but because of nature. Imagine there is a tree and there is a person, a woodcutter who has come to cut down the tree. And he has traveled quite a long time from his house in the scorching sun. And he decides, before cutting the tree, let me take some rest under the tree. And then let me cut the tree. When that is the case, will the tree ever say, okay, this person has come to cut me, so let me not give him the shade? Will the tree ever think like that? It does not choose. It does not like or dislike anyone. It showers its love in the form of the shade to every comer, even to the person who has come to beat him and destroy him. Such was the case of Bhagwan Ramana. When a few robbers at Tiruvannamalai thought many foreigners, many people are visiting Ramana's ashram, and they were sure that there are a lot of wealth being stored at Ramana's ashram. So they thought of looting all the money at the Ramana's ashram. So one night they planned to enter the ashram and they were knocking the door. And Ramana asked, "Who is it?" And the devotees were afraid. And Ramana opened the door himself and welcomed the robbers. And he told, "Oh, robbers, oh, sir, you have come to rob, but we are sadhus. We do not have any money, but you can check for yourself." So he handed over the lantern that they that they had. And the robbers searched everywhere in the ashram, and they were very, very disappointed and frustrated that they could not find any wealth. They could only find little bit of rice and dal and few very, very small money which was given by the devotees, and they were very, very disappointed. In that frustration, they hit one on Ramana's thigh. And Ramana, with a smiling face, although a great pain, he smiled at the robbers and told, if you're not satisfied, please hit the other leg. And the robbers were ashamed at their doing, and they ran away. Later, the next day, the devotees told Bhagwan, we will go and catch them and give them to the police. And Ramana stopped the devotees and they told, they are misguided men. They do not know what is right and what is wrong. So that is they do not know that hitting somebody is wrong. But we should not forget our dharma. We are sadhus, and we should not forget that hurting is not to be done. And he accepted that this one, and he gave the example, beautiful example of how sometimes our teeth while eating food, it bites our tongue. So do we say these teeth are very, very bad, and do we knock all the teeth out of our mouth? That is not the case. So they are also part of our society, and they are misguided. So they should be corrected. You should pay attention so that the teeth does not bite the tongue. So that attention has to be paid. And in the same way, they will understand. The divine power who is taking care of everything will teach them the lesson. So he told. And the next day when the police officers came to file an FIR, he did not tell much. He did not reveal. And he only told the Swami got the necessary puja from the robbers. That was the humorously he described that situation that had happened. Such is the love that Ramana showed his love to even robbers. Just like a tree, not by choice, but by the nature. Ganapati Muni, in one of his Ramana Chatvarimsha says, Na karuna guna tava vidampate hridaya tejasa sahaja bhaivate. Na karuna guna. The karuna, the compassion is not a guna for you. It is sahaja. It is your true nature, says Ganapati Muni. So such is the qualities of the tree. And how can Ramana is that tree who is giving shade to every comer, who is showering his compassion to everyone. And how can we be compared to the tree? How can we be called the walking tree? Ramana, he has come to save us. He saves every comer who come and reach his feet. He saves them. So, and he also gives us the path to understand that we are actually the walking tree. We are the same power, which is all compassion. So to reveal us, he has come as a teacher, and he fills our life with his silence presence. And he makes us realize that what is it that which is deluding us from this silence, which is our own true nature, this love, which is unlimited love, which is our own true nature, but something is veiling us. What is that? It is the delusive pride of the divided self. It is this little pride that we have, and we think we are this body, and we think we are this mind. We may think we are this set of ideas that we have, set of emotions that we feel, or we think we are this limited intellect that we are. And Ramana says, you are not that. You are dividing yourself to this limited identity. Because you are dividing yourself with this limited identity, you are dividing the whole world into small, 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 small pieces, small, small identities. So you are dividing this whole world into small, small pieces. And when you divide it, you say, this is what I like. This I don't like. This I will destroy. This I will cause harm. So with this notion of division, we are creating trouble to the whole world. But Ramana says, you are not divided. You are the only one, which is all encompassing. We are limited to this self. We think we are only little selfish. We love everyone around us because they are all related to us. We don't think about somebody who is there in some other country. We don't think about the animals in Antarctica. We don't think of people in faraway countries. But we only think about our own dear ones. If some problem is there with our dear ones, we pray to Bhagwan, Bhagwan, please help them. But we are not praying for people who we do not know. So we are selfish. We think that we are this limited identity, and those identities which are connected to us are dear to us, and we only think of well-being of those people. But Ramana says our very nature is selfless love. We are, our very nature is full of love. So understand this. Drop the pride of your limited, divided identity. Drop it, destroy it. Then you will understand that you are unlimited, and you are that self which is all encompassing and which is full of love. I always remember this beautiful story of Akbar and Birbal, where there's a set of ministers who are jealous of Birbal because they always think that Birbal is always getting praise from the Jahapana, the Akbar Badshah, and he is getting many, many gifts. So even we should do something when we can also get some gift. So they think of an idea, and on one sabha, in one and gathering in the court, one of the ministers gets up and says, "Oh Jahapana, you are the greatest king in Hindustan," he says. And Jahapana is very, very happy that a great, one of the very, very important and intelligent minister is telling that he is the greatest king in the Hindustan. And one more minister gets up and says, "No, Jahapana, he is completely wrong. You are not only great Raja in the Hindustan, but you are the greatest Jahapana, greatest king in the whole of the Asian continent." And the Raja is little more happy. And one more minister gets up and he says, "So no, Jahapana, they both are completely wrong. You are the greatest empire in this whole world. You're the greatest king in the whole world." And one more minister, he wanted to tell something greater than what all the other ministers have told. "No, Jahapana, you are the greatest king in this whole universe. If there are other kingdoms in other planets and other solar systems and other galaxies, so you are the greatest." So this was getting little too much. And one minister got up and he told, "Jahapana, you are greater than the God," said that minister. And now Akbar understood. This is only flattering by all these ministers. But he wanted to see what Birbal would say. And he turned towards the most wise minister, Birbal, and he told, "Oh, Birbal, what do you say about this minister who is calling me I'm greater than the God? Is it true?" Birbal could have told, "Oh, Jahapana, they are simply telling lies just for getting gifts from you." But Birbal was Birbal. So he told, "Oh, Jahapana, if there is something that you can do and God cannot do, then will you agree that you are greater than the God?" Then, yes, yes, of course. "But what is that thing which God cannot do, but I can do?" So he was surprised. And Birbal told, "Oh, Jahapana, if you are angry with someone, you can tell that subject, you can tell that person, you go out of my kingdom. But God can never do that, because wherever we go, it is the kingdom of God. So we cannot go away from the God's presence anywhere. So that is the thing that you can do, but God can never do." So Akbar understood the greatness of the god and his own limitation. And he again gave a lot of appreciation and gifts to Birbal. So this is the truth, that the self, which is the kingdom of God, which is God himself, it is all encompassing. It envelops everything. And we, instead of understanding that we are that all encompassing God, we limit ourselves to this limited identity. And Bhagavan says that limited identity that you are holding on to is not real. You think you are this body, but when we see our own body, we see that our body is changing constantly. When we were little children, we were so small. And before that, we were actually a small embryo, a small cell. And we grew up inside the womb of the mother. And we have completely changed. If you see, you take a photograph of an embryo and a small child, you wonder, how can this embryo become this child, which is so beautiful, which has all these features of eyes, ears, nose, hands, and legs? It was only one cell when it was in the womb of the mother. So we are in wonder. How can this body is ever changing? And after we are born too, the body is completely changing. The science has found out that all the cells in our body, it replaces itself in every 7 days. And every 3 months, the whole body is renewed. Every cell in the body is renewed. And we have new air, new body. And we think, if we say that we are this body, we hardly understand what is happening inside our body. Are we making the heart beat? Are we making the lungs breathe in and out? Are we making the food get digested in our stomach? Are we the excretory system which is excreting the waste? Are we the hands and the legs, the muscles and the flesh which is making our body move around and do all the activities? We are incapable to understand the working of this body. But we say we are this body. Ramana says we are not this body. In deep sleep or even in a dream, we are not even aware of this body. When we are unconscious, when we are in the spell of anesthesia or some drugs, we do not know what is happening with our body. So how can we say that we are body when the body requires some other power to know its existence? And what is that power? Ramana says it is our mind. Our mind says we are this body. Our mind says this is my hand. I have to use my hand like this. I have to use my legs like that. That the mind can only work with the voluntary muscles. We have heard that there is involuntary actions that are happening within us. There's all the systems, all the organs, the working within. It's not in our hand. It is not even in control of our mind. If the mind says, oh heart, stop beating, the heart is not going to listen to it. It is working as per the divine command. And it will only stop at the time that it has to stop. So such is the happening in our body. So the mind tells us that we are this body. And when we close our eyes and when we meditate on our own body, we only see our body as only a image, a very, very blurry image of the human body. We don't see the organs. We don't see the muscles. We neither see the skeleton, which are all important part. We don't even see ourselves as the brain, which we think is very, very important, vital part of the body. We don't think ourselves as the brain. Our mind has one image of the body. And that thinks that that image is me. That image is I. But that is not at all true. That image is ever changing. I may be wearing a blue kurta, but in my mind I can wear a white kurta, and I can imagine like that. So the mind can trick us. It can think of anything. So Ramana says, understand what is this mind. So in the previous verses of Upadesa Saram, he told, Manasam tu kim margane krite naiva manasam marga arjavar. Find out what is this mind. Actually, when you find out what is this mind, you will understand that there's nothing called the mind. What is this mind? Vrittayastvaham vrittimashritah vrittayo mano vidyaham mana. Our mind, which we think it's I. It is only movement of thoughts. It is only filled with thoughts. And these thoughts are ever moving, ever changing. So this mind is only made up of thoughts. All the thoughts that which are fleeting, which are coming and going. What is that which is always present? Ramana says all these thoughts are connected to this root thought, which is called the I thought, aham vritti. Vrittayastva aham vritti mashrataha. They are all dependent on this I thought, which is the thought that I am there, I am this entity. So that thought, all the other thoughts are connected to that thought. Because I exist, because I am Ujwal. I have the thought, Ujwal likes this, Ujwal does not like this, Ujwal has to do this work, Ujwal should not do this work. So all these other thoughts, the periphery thoughts, are appearing only because of the root thought that I am Ujwal. And Ramana questions us, you find out, ahamayam kuto bhavati chinvata aipatatyaham nija vicharanam. When you ask yourself, from where does this thought, I am Ujwal, arise? From where is this thought that I am this entity arise? If we pay attention to that thought merges in its source. Because that thought cannot exist separately. It is always existing, hiding behind all these thoughts. I like this, I have to do this, I am this, I should be good, I should be a good orator, I should be a good dancer, I should be a good singer. So it is hiding this. Ego is hiding between all these little things. Maybe with good thoughts. I should be good to everyone. I should help everyone in this whole world. I should save this earth. I should save the environment. With that good thoughts also, this ego is slowly hiding. And Ramana says this ego cannot bring any good to anyone. It is only bringing sorrows. And how is it bringing sorrows? It is bringing sorrows in the form of thoughts. Ramana says every thought is a sorrow. And every thought is the desire that this I is extending. This I is having the desire that I should exist, to make itself existing. So it is creating, it is holding on to these various thoughts. And Ramana says, these thoughts are fleeting and it is of no help. If I am sitting and imagining, I should help the whole world, I should help the whole world. If I am having a great thought, this thought will not help the world at all. Ramana says it is useless. These thoughts are lifeless. So drop these thoughts. And how do you drop these thoughts? Pay attention to the source of the thought. It is the I thought. And question, who is this I? And when that entity is questioned, that entity, it always holds on to the form. There is a shloka in Saddarshanam which says, Rupodbhavo Rupatati Pratishto Rupashano Dhuta Grihita Rupaha Swayam Virupa Swavichara Kale Dhavatyahankara Pishacha Yeshaha. This ahankara is virupa. It does not have any form. If Ramana says, find out, bring that ego in front of me. The ego is synonymous to the mind. And he says, your mind is creating all these problems. Bring this mind. Which color is it? Does this mind has a mustache? So when we question ourselves, what is this mind? What is this entity that we are holding on to as I? That entity does not have any form, but it holds on to the form. It appears with the form. It appears with this identity that we are this body. We are this set of ideas and emotions and opinions. So it emerges with that form. Some gross forms and some subtle forms. And he holds on to that form. And it eats the form. Okay. And it only is living with the help of these forms. And Ramana says, when we do vichara, when we question ourselves, are we this form? Are we this identity that we are holding on to? At that time, this I, Davatyahankara Pishacha Yesha, this ego just runs away. This ego ghost which does not exist, it just runs away in a trice when it is questioned. And when this ego runs away, in one of our Rasa's production, Rasa is a special school, a center for theatre arts for children with special needs. They do a production every year, and one of their production was Yediri. Yediri is the enemy within, and this ego within it manifests itself as these various enemies, the Shad Ripus, which are called Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, and Matsarya. This ego manifests as various desires, Kama, and this ego manifests as the Krodha, as anger, and as Kama, Krodha. Lobha is greediness, Mada is laziness, and the pride, the false pride that we are holding on to. Madan, Matsarya, jealousy, and all these, and Moha, the attachment. So it appears as all these yediris and only creating problem. And Ramana says, question this enemy. Question, what is your source? Question it. And in the scene, whenever this Kama or Krodha or Lobha appears, it appears as a black costumed dancer who's come and go around Yediri, like that, around the main character on which all these manifestation has come. And that main character, when he faces that Yediri and questions that Yediri, who are you? From where is your source? From where are you coming? So as soon as that Yediri is questioned, the Yediri just runs away. And one of the participants, she asked, why this is a very, very sad situation of this Yediri. Every time it is questioned, it has to run out of the stage. Very, very sad character to play, sad role to play. And Sharda Akka, she told, imagine that Yediri is none other than a small child. And we are telling that child to go, run to your mother. From where have you come? You cannot be going around here alone. You should be with your mother, with your elders. Go. When the child is told like that and the child runs to his mother's lap. Is it a sad situation? No, it is the joyous situation where the child who is going around in the world is told and directed to go back to its mother. The Chinmayi, who is the heart, and the Yediri, that enemy who is manifested outside as a problem, when it turns within, it becomes the child. And when it reaches the heart, the lap of the mother, it becomes one with the mother. And when it becomes one with the mother, ahami nashabhaji, when this identity, I, is destroyed, aham taya, one more I. Not this limited I, but one more I. Aham taya spurati hritsvayam parama purnasat. That another I, which is not I, which is not limited, which is not small, but that which is continuous, which is ever present, that which is all encompassing, that new I, which is ancient, which is our own true nature, but that shines as self-effulgent, as the fullness of existence, Paramapurna Sat. A journalist called Paul Brinton, he had traveled all around the world, all around the West, searching for his answers, for his questions. And he had not got satisfactory answer in the West. So he got to know with great expectation. He came to India, to the East, in search of a master who can give answers to his questions. So he came to India and he went around all the places of India, visiting all the great sadhus and great enlightened masters in India that he had heard about. But he was disappointed. He had not found a true master. And he, by the grace of the Shankaracharya, Kanchi Shankaracharya, he was guided to go to Ramana. He came to Kanchi Shankaracharya and asked, Swami, I have come to see a master. Do you know of any enlightened master who can accept me as a disciple? And Kanchi Shankaracharya says, there are two masters whom I know who are enlightened. One master stays in a secluded cottage up in the Himalayas, and nobody is allowed to visit him. And you being a foreigner, you being a Westerner from Britain, you will not be allowed there at all. But there is one more enlightened being whom he is available to everyone. And you can surely go and visit him. And that is Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi, who is residing in the hill of beacon, the hill of fire, Arunachala. There, in that hill, that master, that enlightened being is there. That master is there. You can go. And Paul Brinton, with great difficulty, he comes to the presence of Ramana. And he has jotted down a lot of questions. And he wanted to ask all these questions to Ramana. And when he comes to the presence of Ramana, he becomes silent. All these questions that he had in his mind seem to have vanished. He is enjoying the peace of that silence and peace in the presence of Ramana. And he is rejoicing in that. And a person who had accompanied him to Ramana's ashram, he shakes him up and says, oh, sir, you had come to ask many questions to Maharshi. Do you want to ask them now? And he wonders that what are the questions that he had in his mind. So there are no questions that he has. And still, he asks the guidance and he asks some questions to Bhagavan Ramana. And he asks, I have traveled all the West and understood all the Western philosophies. Now I have come to East for more light. Is there anything beyond this mortal existence of human being? Is there something beyond this existence, human existence? And Ramana replies, find out what is your true nature. Find out who you are. Then you will understand that which is beyond this limited existence of us. But Paul Brinton says, I know myself. I am Paul Brinton, and I am Paul Brinton from my birth. But Ramana says, you are Paul Brinton. You are referring only to this body. But I am not referring to your body. And you are referring to the name. Before you were given this name, Paul Brinton, you existed. You were there as the little child. So you existed even before your name came. And any point of time, you can change your name. So you are not the name. And you are not the body too. And you are not the mind or the intellect too. Find out who you are with the question, who am I? Then you will understand your own true nature. And Paul Brinton asked, so you say that there are two eyes, one this limited eye and one more which is one more eye which is unlimited, which is limitless. But Ramana says, how can that be the case? There is only one self, one I. When this limited identity that you are holding on to, when that is destroyed, this true I will arise and shine by itself. And that true self shining is called by different names by different people. Some call it salvation. Some call that self the spirit. Some call it the soul. And some call it nirvana. But we call it by a simple name, the self, or we call it I. Not the I which is limited, but the I which is continuous and ever present. And Paul Brinton wonders, if that limited I is destroyed and we become that unlimited I, then what will happen to us? Will we lose consciousness? Will we faint? Or will we become stupid? And Ramana says, no, that is not the case. Instead, you will realize that you are all enveloping and you are beyond this limited entity, limited body, and limited mind and thoughts and ideas and intellect. You are beyond that. And all this is only a minuscule in that expanse of the self. In one of our dance ballets, Paripurna Ramana, we have this scene of the protagonist telling the Sadguru who has come in the form of I. She says, why should I know this I? I am afraid to drop this identity. This identity which I hold on to seems to be very, very comfortable. It's so beautiful. I am this body. Maybe I am having difficulties, but everybody is having difficulties. So I am happy holding on to this identity that I am this body. I am happy having this mind and all these thoughts that I have. And I am happy with some great ideas that I get. Maybe some ideas are not so great, but it's okay. I will manage. So we are comfortable with our this limited identity. So such is the protagonist is told the story of the wave, which does not know its own depth. And the wave is rushing towards the beach and running back. And it is having great fun. It is thinking that it is making this beautiful act of rushing towards the people who are there in the beach and rushing back. And the ocean from within is calling, come back, O wave, come back into yourself. But the wave says, no, no, I don't want to come. It is so much fun to see these people playing on the beach. And when I rush towards the children, they make this happy sound. And there are beautiful programs happening on the beach. So I don't want to leave all these fun and come to the ocean. And the ocean reminds, who told you to not to come back? Just come within and find out who you really are. Then you can go back to become a wave. If not this beach, if you come back, you can go to any other beach you want to. You can go to the various beach in any part of the world. And if you want, from within, you can rise as a huge wave if you want to too. Just come within, come within. But the wave is not convinced. It is rushing towards the beach. It says, I'm enjoying this work. I'm enjoying rushing towards the beach and coming back and hitting this sound and making this gushing sound and coming back. I'm loving this job. But the ocean asks, aren't you bored of doing the same thing again and again and again? The wave says, okay, maybe a little bit. And the ocean says, just come once. Just come once and understand your own true self. And with great reluctance, the wave decides to enter the depth of the ocean. And when it enters the ocean, it sees that how beautiful is it? How peaceful is it? And how expansive it is. And how that ocean is a home for various living creatures, different kinds and different hues and different shapes and sizes, and everything coexisting so peacefully within the depths of the ocean. And it realizes, oh my God, I have been seeing outside. I have never seen within. I have never seen the wonders that are awaiting within. I have been acting. I have never listened to the silence, which is my own true nature. I have been acting all the time, and I have never been myself. And I understand now that nothing can equal the joy of being myself. And Ramana was ever abiding in that in his own self. And he is reminding every one of us to get back to our own true nature, which is limitless and which is ever shining independently, self-effulgently as I. So he says, get back to that I. Hold on to that I. Drop this limited identity, which is only making you see outside, which is making you outwardly and making you undergo all these difficulties. The not difficulties, it's that you have the dvandva, the duality of good and bad and pleasure and sorrow. So Ramana says, understand when there is limitless bliss available within, why should you go behind this limited pleasures that you are going to get turning outside? He reminds us to get back to our own true nature, which is limitless and beautiful. In one of our dance ballets, as Vaniji told, that the dance ballets that we do at Ramana Maharshi Center for Learning are not only entertaining, but each one of us who participate in it, whoever comes and sees it, it is life transforming, because these incidents that are shown are, are guiding us, guiding every moment. And here we have this Vedantic story, which is beautifully presented in a beautiful song, which is written in Kannada, but I will try explaining that in English too. The song starts as ದಟ್ಟವಾದ ಒಂದು ಕಾಡು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಿಂಹರಾಜ ಅವನ ಮುದ್ದು ಹೆಂಡತಿ ಅವಳೇ ಸಿಂಹರಾಣಿ. There was a forest, and in that forest there was a king lion, and that lion had a beautiful Rani, a lioness Rani. Okay. ಒಂದು ದಿನ ಸಿಂಹರಾಣಿ ಗರ್ಭವಾಗಿ ನಡೆದಳು, ನಗರದ ಅಂಗಳದಲ್ಲಿ ತಾ ಬಂದು ಸೇರಿದಳು. That Rani was pregnant. She had a little lion cub inside her womb, and she was fully pregnant, and she was very, very hungry. And to search for a prey in the forest is very, very difficult. You should have a lot of energy and persistent in running behind the prey and catching it, which requires a lot of energy. But since she was fully pregnant, she was incapable of doing that, searching for a prey in the forest. So she turned towards the city, where she can easily get a prey, which is captivated prey. She could catch them. So she came running towards the city. ಹೆದರಿ ಜನರು ಅಟ್ಟಿದರು, ಸಿಂಹರಾಣಿ ಓಡಿದಳು. ಕೂಸು ಸಿಂಹ ಹುಟ್ಟಿ ಬಂತು ಕುರಿಗಳ ಮಧ್ಯದಳು. There was a flock of sheep, and she jumped and entered the flock of the sheep to eat one of those sheep. But when she was about to do that, the people got to know that a lioness has come. So they brought all the sticks and the fire, and they started shooing this lioness away because they were scared. So they wanted to shoo this and lioness away and protect their flock of sheep. And in that process, she was fully pregnant. So she gave birth to a small lion cub amidst those sheep, and she had to run away in fear to the forest. Okay. Then the next day, ಸೂರ್ಯ ಹುಟ್ಟಿ ಕೋಳಿ ಕೂಗಿ ಬೆಳಕು ಬಂದು ಸರೆಯಿತು. ಸಿಂಹ ಮರಿ ಕಣ್ತೆರೆಯುತ್ತ ಅತ್ತ ಇತ್ತ ಓಡಿತು. ಕುರಿಗಳ ಮಂದಿ ನಡುವೆ ತಾನು ಬಂದು ಮರಿಯು ಸೇರಿತು. ಹಸಿವಿಂದ ಕುರಿಗಳಂತೆ ಕೂಗಲು ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿತು. It opened its eyes and it looked here and there. He could only find other sheep, and it joined the other sheep, and they were all running here and there, and it was really hungry. So it started imitating what the sheep were doing. Sheep were bleating, meh, meh. So with great difficulty, even that lion cub started imitating that bleating of the sheep. And ಕರುಣೆಯಿಂದ ತಾಯಿ ಕುರಿಯು ಮಗುವ ಹಸಿವ ತಣಿಸಿತು. ಸಿಂಹ ಮರಿ ಎಂದೆಣಿಸದೆ ಹಾಲನ್ನು ಉಣಿಸಿತು. That mother sheep, she did not see that as a lion cub. She thought it is its own child. In that bhavana, it fed that child also with the milk. Okay, like this. ಸಮಯ ಹೀಗೆ ಕಳೆಯಿತು, ಕೂಸು ಬೆಳೆದು ನಿಂತಿತು, ಎಲ್ಲ ಕುರಿಗಳ ಹಾಗೆ ಜೀವನವ ನಡೆಸಿತು. Just like all the other sheeps, this lion cub also grew with those other sheeps, and it was leading his life. But one day, ಹೀಗೆ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತಿದ್ದಾಗ ಏನಾಯಿತು ಗೊತ್ತಾ? ಸಿಂಹರಾಜ ಹಸಿದು ಬಂದು ನಗರದ ಕಡೆ ನಿಂತ. ಹುಲ್ಲು ತಿಂದು ಹೆದರಿ ಬೆದರಿ ಕುರಿಗಳ ಜೊತೆ ಇದ್ದ. ಮಗುವ ಕಂಡು ಮನ ಕರಗಿ ಒಲಿದು ಕರೆದ. This Simha, which was in the forest, one day it came to the city in search of a prey, and it was surprised to see this lion cub amidst the sheep, and all the sheep are shivering with fear, and this lion cub is also shivering with the fear with these sheep, and it was surprised. Why is this lion cub with these sheep, and why is it feeling afraid? And he says, ಕಳೆದು ಹೋದ ನನ್ನ ಮಗ. Oh, it may be my son who was lost in that situation which has happened long back. ಹತ್ತಿರ ಬಾ ಕಂದ, ನಿನ್ನ ಸ್ವರೂಪವ ನೀನು ಮರೆತಿರುವೆ ಚಂದ. ಸಿಂಹನಿ ಸಿಂಹನಿ ಕುರಿ ಅಲ್ಲ, ನಡೆ ಈಗಲೇ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ, ನನ್ನ ಜೊತೆ ವನಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದು ರಾಜ್ಯವಾಳು ಎಂದ. Oh dear Simha, you are not a sheep, you are a lion. Come with me. Come with me to the forest, and you take care of the forest as the king of the forest. Rajyavalu, Vanava Alu, you become the king of the forest. Come with me. But that sheep lion is feeling very, very terrified and says, ನಡುಗುತ್ತಾ ಮಗು ಹೇಳಿತು, ಇದು ನಿನ್ನ ಜಾಲವೇ, ನನ್ನ ಉಸಿರ ತೆಗೆದು ನೀನು ಉಣ್ಣಲು ಇದು ತಂತ್ರವೇ. Oh lion, why have you come? Why are you calling me? Is it because you want to take me to the forest and eat me up? I am not going to come. But that lion, it is feeling very, very disappointed, and it is feeling so sad. Oh, you are lion. Why are you feeling afraid of me? I am only thinking of your good. I am telling you to come. But ಸೊರಗಿ ಸೋತ ಕಂಠದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಂಹರಾಜ ಹೇಳಿದ, ಕುರಿಯ ಹಿಡಿಯುವುದಕ್ಕೆ ನನಗೆ ಜಾಲ ಬೇಕಿಲ್ಲ, ಸಿಂಹವಾಗಿ ಬದುಕಬೇಕು ಎಂಬ ಆಸೆ ಬಂದರೆ ಎಂದಾದರೂ ಬಾ ಕಾಡಿಗೆ ನಿನಗಾಗಿ ಕಾಯುವೆ, ಎಂದಾದರೂ ಬಾ ಕಾಡಿಗೆ ನಿನಗಾಗಿ ಕಾಯುವೆ. Oh lion, to catch a sheep, I do not need any tantra, any jala, any tactics. Sheep are so helpless. I can just catch them and take them to the forest. So I did not need any tactics to catch you if you were a sheep. But you are not a sheep. But if ever you want to live as a lion, you have a desire to live as a lion, come to the forest. I will be waiting for you. I will be waiting for you, said that tiger to that lion sheep. That sheep, ರಾಜಸಿಂಹ ಹೋದ ಮೇಲೆ ಮರಿ ವಿಚಾರಿಸತೊಡಗಿತು. After the Raja went, this lion sheep started questioning itself. ಬೆದರಿ ಬಾಳ್ವ ಕುರಿಗಳ ಕಂಡು ಬೇಸರ ಅದ ಕಾಯಿತು. Seeing the sheep which are so afraid, so frightened all the time. They're leading a life of fear all the time. They're afraid. Oh, now the lion may come. If lion does not come, the owner is only going to take them one day and going to kill them for the meat. So the sheep are always terrified, leading a life of fear all the time. and ಸಿಂಹವಾಗಿ ಬಾಳಬೇಕು ಎಂಬ ಆಸೆ ಹುಟ್ಟಿತು. I want to be fearless like the simha. So that ase, that desire came within that lion sheep. ಕಾಡ ಹುಡುಕಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಸಿಂಹ ಗುಹೆಯ ಮುಂದೆ ನಿಂತಿತು. It went to the forest in front of the guhe. It stood in front of the Rajasimha, and Rajasimha was delighted. ನೋಡಿ ಓಡಿ ಬಂದು ಸಿಂಹ ಬಾ ಹಿಂದೆ ಎಂದಿತು. ಮಗುವ ಜೊತೆ ಕೆರೆಯ ಮುಂದೆ ತಾ ಹೋಗಿ ನಿಂತಿತು. It went, it told, follow me, and took that lion cub in front of the lake in the river. ನೋಡು ಮಗು ನನ್ನ ಬಿಂಬ ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟವಾಗಿ ಕಾಣು. ಲುಕ್, ಲುಕ್ at my reflection here. ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಂತಿರುವ ನೀನು ಯಾರು ಪೇಳು. You are standing beside me, and this is your reflection. Tell me, who are you? ನೀನು ಯಾರು ಪೇಳು. Tell me, who are you? ಎರಡು ಸಿಂಹ ಜೊತೆ ಜೊತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಂತಿರುವುದ ಕಂಡು ಸಿಂಹ ಮರಿ ಆನಂದದಿ ಗರ್ಜಿಸತೊಡಗಿತು. ಸಿಂಹ 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 ನಾನು, ಕುರಿಯಲ್ಲ ನಾನು. ಸಿಂಹ ಸಿಂಹ ಸಿಂಹವೇ, ಕುರಿಯಲ್ಲ ನಾನು. ಭಯವೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಚಿಂತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಸತ್ಯವ ಕಂಡಿಹೆನು. ಭಯವೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಚಿಂತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಸತ್ಯವ ಕಂಡಿಹೆನು. ಸತ್ಯವ ಕಂಡಿಹೆನು, ಸತ್ಯವ ಕಂಡಿಹೆನು. And what is that satya? ಅಹಮಿನಾಶ ಭಾಜಿ ಅಹಮಹಂ ತಯ ಸ್ಫುರತಿ ಮೇ ಸ್ವಯಂ ಪರಮ ಪೂರ್ಣ ಸತ್. ಪರಮ ಪೂರ್ಣ ಸತ್, ಸತ್ ಪರಮ ಪೂರ್ಣ ಸತ್. ಸ್ಫುರತಿ ಹೃತ್ ಸ್ವಯಂ ಪರಮ ಪೂರ್ಣ ಸತ್. ಅಹಮಹಂ ತಯ ಸ್ಫುರತಿ ಹೃತ್ ಸ್ವಯಂ ಪರಮ ಪೂರ್ಣ ಸತ್. ಪರಮ ಪೂರ್ಣ ಸತ್, ಪರಮ ಪೂರ್ಣ ಸತ್. Ramana says, we are like that lion sheep. We do not know our own true nature, and we are leading a life of fear and worry and anxiety. And Ramana is that Simha, our father, who is full of compassion, and he has come to our lives, and he is not forcing us. Come, he is not forcing us and taking back to the forest, but he is giving us our time. You have to make your mind, and you have to come. But I am always there available for you. I am the Simha who is shining within the heart cave as I. So if you come, I will accept you and embrace you. And when that happens, we become one with our Father. We become one with that Arunachala Ramana who is shining within our hearts as that continuous I, that which is self-effulgent, and that which is the fullness of existence. With prayers to Bhagavan Ramana to remind us to get back to his presence within and to abide as himself, as that fullness of existence. We pray to him and we continue our sadhana to turn within. I thank all the satsangis of meditation and study circle and Srimati Vani Vasudevji and Vasudevji for giving me this opportunity to meditate on these words of Bhagavan Ramana, and an opportunity for me to turn within and remind myself that we are not this limited identity that we hold on to, but we are that limitless self, and that limitless self is ever waiting for us lovingly to get back. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya.